Since the invention of time and the first stirrings of human memory, one story has been told by all the peoples of the world, over and over again, 100,000 versions of the same story. For many centuries we have marveled at the quiet regularity of the heavens, the predictable cosmic cycles, the silent clockwork motions of the stars and planets. But this first story, the mother and father of all stories, tells of an entirely different time, when the planets were not distant specks of light, a time when the planets towered over the earth, immense, unpredictable, and terrifying.
Once in the long ago there was a hero, and the hero slew the dragon. To save the beautiful princess. When I was a child, I was enchanted by fairy tales. But when I was a young man in college, you couldn't have paid me to think about such things. Then I read a book by a man named Immanuel Velikovsky. Suddenly mythology became an obsession, my life's work. Little did I suspect that it would change everything I thought I knew about the history of the world.
Publisher, editor, author, researcher, corporate executive, inventor. David Talbot has earned his living at diverse endeavors, but he has devoted most of his adult life to the pursuit of a single goal, unraveling the origins of the world's first story. 8 hours from now, he will present his findings at an international symposium in Portland, Oregon, to an audience of historians, anthropologists, archaeologists, comparative mythologists, astronomers, and astrophysicists.
Once in the long ago, heaven was close to the earth, and we lived in the presence of the gods. It was the Garden of Eden, the island of Avalon, paradise on earth. But that was before the sky fell, when the heavens tumbled into chaos and the gods went to war. A cosmic darkness enshrouding the world.
In the galaxy we call the Milky Way, the Earth moves with a small gathering of planets around a single star, our Sun. From where we stand, the planets are only tiny specks in the sky. So a question arises. Why did our ancestors view these pinpricks of light with such reverence and dread? We know that the first astronomers remembered the planets as immense powers in the sky, wielding weapons of thunder and fire and stone. How did this perception occur? Why did far-flung cultures celebrate the planets as the gods? Until the early 60s, our ideas about the planets came from remote observations and a lot of guesses. Then the space age arrived. We had expected our probes to reveal planets long, cold, and dead, but we found instead surprisingly recent activity on a catastrophic scale. The superheated cauldron of Venus, revealing 100,000 volcanoes and planet-wide lava flows. The planet Mars, with continental-scale rifts and chasms, mysteriously stripped of its rivers and oceans. The moons of Jupiter and Saturn, resculpted by forces not a single astronomer had anticipated. What cosmic events left such colossal scars on the distant planets? One possibility is never considered. It is an extraordinary possibility. That the explanation lies in the memories of the first star worshippers.
Traffic, rain, clouds, and showers starting Monday, and it's going to worsen into snow flurries down to the lower elevations by Tuesday.
Immanuel Velikovsky's book was called Worlds in Collision. Velikovsky claimed that the mythical gods were planets, and that the Earth itself was disturbed by the erratic movements of planets. Of course, the scientific establishment had completely dismissed Velikovsky. Yet I found his ideas spellbinding. I was a young man and it was an open field. So I decided to investigate these strange theories of planetary catastrophe. venturing bravely into the vast domain of world mythology. I soon found myself overwhelmed by confusion and disillusionment. I began to fear that Velikovsky had totally distorted the subject instead of the symmetry I expected. I found an enormous jumble of absurdities.
Nothing in the silent motions of Venus or Mars or the gas giants Jupiter and Saturn will ever explain the Thunderbirds or winged bulls or flaming dragons or any of the preposterous ideas our ancestors attached to these powers. Where is the shining city or temple of heaven, remembered as the home of the gods? Where is the mountain of the gods, the column of fire and light rising to the center of the sky? Where is the great world wheel claimed to have once turned in the sky?
I was on the verge of abandoning the work when I realized something. Velikovsky had actually discovered a key. The key was recognizing patterns, because patterns imply coherence and connectedness. Gradually, I began to sense a peculiar resonance in our collective memory. 10,000 ancient voices urging us to remember.
How did it happen that widely dispersed cultures preserve such similar stories? The universal myth of the Golden Age. The myth of the hero. The myth of the Queen of Heaven with her long flowing hair. There are 100 universal themes, and all are as old as civilization. But who can say we have truly accounted for any of the mythical archetypes?